Hi, today we are going to discuss about a new Spark SQL syntax which is pipe syntax. It was first introduced by Google team in 2024 when their researchers claimed that this syntax it is going to make SQL more easy to understand, more easy to write and make them more readable and stronger. It was then adopted by Google BigQuery and Spark 4.0 also, and in April 2025, Databricks also has integrated this in their Databricks Runtime version 16.2. So let's understand what makes this syntax so special and how it can make our life easier. Let's start with a simple SQL query. Here we are reading this table, applying a where condition and then grouping by the country. And we want that for each country, how many franchises are there. Here we can see the results for each country. We have got how many franchises are there with the size L. Now, if we think how this query was built from scratch, so how we give it some thoughts is, first we start with the table name. We know from which table we want to bring in the data. Second, we want to apply the where clause so that we can filter out the records. And third, we are going to apply a group by and then do a count star. If we think about these three steps, these are applied in different order than actually they mean. What I mean here is that step 1 is here, step 2 is here, and step 3 it is broken between this group by and this select statement. That's where the pipe syntax, it makes it more easier and makes it with the flow of our thinking or how we are going to build any SQL query from scratch. So this is the same query with a pipe syntax. Here we select the table first. So we start from there. Then in the step 2, we apply the where clause. And in step 3, we do the aggregate and group by. So in this query, we can see like it is in the same steps as the logical execution, like step 1, 2, and 3. That's how it makes SQL queries more easy to understand, more readable, and more useful. For this simple example, maybe it will seem just rewriting. Now let's take a look at some more complex examples so that we know its real impact. And what I also wanted to show here is that this syntax, it is more aligned with PySpark coding as well. So let's say if we had to write the same code in PySpark, so this is how we would write. We will first read the table and create a data frame. Then we will apply the filter. And then we will apply the group by and the aggregation. So these same three steps, 1, 2, and 3 also aligns with this pipe syntax as well, like 1, 2, 3, which is different in terms of the original SQL syntax. And if we take a more complex example, let's say here we have a query with inner query and a join. And if somebody new is trying to understand this query, so as we know, like we start from the table, like this is the first thing anybody is going to start thinking about, that we read this table, then we apply this filter, then we select these columns. After that, we apply this outer filter, and then from there we select these columns. This makes it as an inner query. After this inner query, it is joined with another table based on this condition, and then the results are done as a group by. And based on this group by, the aggregations are selected at the topmost. And then order by is applied based on this column. So as we are thinking about this query, right? So we are starting from this middle section and then we are coming out how this is working. And after joining, so this is something makes it more difficult for a very big query, that group by columns, we have to mention them here in one place. And then what is done after group by, that is available in another place. So this is the kind of problem which is solved by pipe syntax. So now let's understand the same query with pipe syntax. So in pipe syntax, what we do is we start with the step 1 where we select the table. After selecting the table, we apply the where clause. Then we select the required column. This makes our innermost query. And then we apply another where clause, select the columns and put a alias. After that, we join the table with another table. And then we do the aggregation based on these group by columns. And at the end, we perform this order by. So if we think about this query, it is more logical with the flow of thinking, that we first select the table, apply the filters, then we join. After everything is joined, then we performed aggregation and group by. Here group by and aggregation are also in a single clause. And finally, we apply the order by. So this is how it makes it more readable and more easy to understand and write also, because we don't have to go here and there while writing the query. We have to think step by step, and then we can keep appending more details using this syntax as and when those are required. Another good thing about this pipe syntax is that we don't have to rewrite any of our existing queries to start using this. For example, let's say here we have written some query which is providing some output, and after that we decide to do some kind of aggregation. So we don't have to rewrite anything in this query. Simply what we can do is we can just extend this query. So this part will remain in SQL. We will start by writing a pipe syntax, and then we will do the aggregation, and after that order by. So how this code will behave is, first this will execute and its output will be considered in this syntax. So that's how we can extend any of the existing query using pipe syntax, and it makes it more easy to adapt to new query, new changes. And it is not only about extending the existing queries, it can be used in combination with the SQL queries. So here is another example where the inner query, it is in the pipe syntax. We are selecting the customer column, then doing a join and doing some aggregation. And then the outer query here, it is again in the normal SQL syntax. So this is how both these syntaxes can be used together as combination also, so that we don't have to rewrite any of our existing code. Whatever code is there, it will just work fine. Whatever new thing we are building, that we can start using this pipe syntax. And that's the intention of Databricks by providing combination of both the syntaxes. So now we understand how this syntax works, what are its capabilities. But there is a problem also, like if we start using this. And the only problem, it is about its usability between multiple users. So let's say I am familiar with this syntax and I have written some queries, but in general, lot of people are not using this. So if any new person look at this query, it will be difficult for them to understand. We will have to first train them, and then they will also be able to understand it. So overall, the syntax is easy only, but as an organization, we shall first do some analysis whether everybody will be willing to adapt this, and it can be started using by all. Then only it will be helpful. So I hope you got the idea now about the pipe syntax. Let me know your thoughts, whether you liked it or not liked it, or are you planning to use it or not. That will be all for now. Thanks for watching the complete video. Bye bye.